Most men think attraction is about looks, money, or status. But let me tell you a secret. It's not what you say that makes a woman fall in love. It's the kind of questions you ask. Because the right question doesn't just get an answer, it opens her heart. Curiosity is the secret ingredient most men overlook when it comes to building attraction. Too often, people enter conversations with the mindset of impressing or showing off. They think if they talk about themselves enough, they'll seem interesting. But the truth is the opposite. The one who shows genuine curiosity becomes unforgettable. Curiosity is magnetic because it shifts the focus from me to you, and that makes the other person feel valued. When a woman feels that your attention is not scattered but fully present on her, something shifts inside her heart. She begins to associate you with safety, interest, and importance. Think about it. Every woman has a world inside her. Her thoughts, her experiences, her scars, her victories, her insecurities, her hopes for the future, all of these exist beneath the surface. Most people never take the time to ask about them. Most stay on the shallow level of, how are you? Or, what do you do? And because of this, women walk around feeling unseen. But when you step in with curiosity, you stand out instantly. You're not just having a conversation, you're unlocking a part of her that rarely gets attention, and the human heart naturally gravitates toward the one who sees it. Curiosity has another powerful quality. It communicates confidence. A man who is afraid of silence or rejection tends to talk about himself endlessly, but a man who is secure has no problem shifting the spotlight to her. By asking questions that matter, you demonstrate that you are not needy for attention. You are centered enough to let her speak and strong enough to genuinely care about what she says. That level of composure is rare, and rarity is attractive. But here's where many men fail. They confuse curiosity with interrogation. Curiosity is not about firing off random questions like an interviewer. It is about presence. It's about asking something meaningful, then truly listening to her answer. When she speaks, you don't rush to fill the silence. You don't twist the moment back to yourself. Instead, you lean in, you reflect, you go deeper. That's what makes her feel like your curiosity is authentic, not just a trick. Real curiosity also shows a woman that you're not fixated on the surface. Many people only ask about appearances, jobs, or hobbies. But when you dare to ask about feelings, values, and dreams, you set yourself apart. A simple shift from what's your favorite food to what meal reminds you of home changes the entire energy of the conversation. She no longer feels like she's in small talk. She feels like she's sharing something personal, something intimate. And intimacy at its core is built on curiosity. Another thing to understand about curiosity is that it creates emotional connection faster than compliments ever could. Compliments might make her smile for a moment, but curiosity makes her open up for a lifetime. When you show her that her opinions, her past, and her inner world are worth exploring, she begins to feel a bond forming with you. This bond is not forced, it's not manipulated, it's natural. Because the more she reveals, the more invested she feels. And the more invested she feels, the more she associates you with the person who brings that side of her to life. Curiosity also has the power to make conversations unforgettable. Most men ask the same predictable things, but the man who asks, "What was the happiest moment of your childhood?" or "What's a dream you've never told anyone?" creates a memory she will never shake off. Why? Because those questions are tied to emotions. And people don't remember facts or details. They remember how you made them feel. By awakening those feelings through curiosity, you position yourself as someone who touches her at a deeper level. Small talk is easy. Anyone can do it. How's the weather? What do you do for work? Did you watch that show? These are safe, surface level exchanges that fill silence but never touch the soul. The problem is that small talk is forgettable. It may keep the conversation polite, but it never creates attraction, never sparks emotion, and never leaves a lasting impression. If you want to make a woman truly connect with you, you must rise above the shallow waters of small talk and dive into depth. Depth is where the magic happens. Depth is where real intimacy begins. It is in those questions that go beyond the obvious, the questions that reveal who she is beneath the roles she plays every day. A woman doesn't fall for a man because he asked her about her job title. She falls when he asks what her job means to her or what dream she's secretly chasing beyond the job. That difference is small in words, but monumental in impact. Because depth makes her feel that you're not just trying to talk, you're trying to understand. Small talk is safe, but safety often comes at the price of boredom. Depth, on the other hand, carries risk, but that risk is what creates excitement. When you ask deeper questions, you show vulnerability. You show that you're willing to go beyond scripted conversations. And that courage is attractive. A woman will forget a dozen casual conversations in her week, but she will remember the one moment someone made her pause, reflect, and open her heart. Depth is not about asking personal questions too soon. It's about asking meaningful ones that awaken thought and feeling. Instead of, do you like traveling? You could ask, what place changed the way you see the world? That instantly shifts the energy. Instead of, what kind of music do you like? You could ask, what song always takes you back to a certain memory? Suddenly, she's not just giving facts, she's sharing herself. And that sharing creates a bond no small talk can ever achieve. Women crave depth because most interactions they experience are surface level. Every day they face casual compliments, basic questions, and predictable conversations. Rarely does someone ask them something that makes them pause and feel, this person sees me differently. When you are that person, you become significant. You become the one who unlocks a part of her that no one else bothers to explore. And significance is the foundation of attraction. Another truth about depth is that it reveals compatibility. Small talk tells you nothing about who she really is. But deep questions uncover her values, her beliefs, her priorities. When you ask her what matters most to her or what shaped her into who she is today, you're not just building connection, you're gathering insight into whether your lives align. And women respect men who aren't afraid to explore beyond the surface because it shows emotional intelligence. Depth also creates emotional safety. When you lead the conversation into meaningful places, you signal that you are not afraid of feelings, not afraid of honesty, not afraid of intimacy. This makes her trust you more. And when a woman trusts you, she naturally lets down her guard. She shares her stories, her emotions, her vulnerabilities. And the man who can handle those without judgment becomes the man she feels closest to. Small talk is like walking in circles. It keeps the interaction alive but goes nowhere. Depth, however, is like a journey forward. Every deep question is a step closer to her heart. Every meaningful answer creates a memory. And every time she reflects on that conversation, she associates you with the rare feeling of being understood at her core. Most people think communication is about speaking. They believe the more they say, the more impact they'll create. But the truth is the opposite. Real connection is built not on how well you speak, but on how deeply you listen. Active listening is one of the most powerful ways to make a woman feel understood, valued, and connected. It is not about staying silent. It is about being fully present in the silence, letting her words carry weight, and showing her that her voice matters. Active listening goes beyond nodding or saying, uh-huh, while waiting for your turn to talk. It's about receiving her words with complete attention. When she speaks, you don't just hear the sentences, you hear the emotions behind them. You notice the pauses, the tone, the little details she includes without realizing. A woman can feel when she's being listened to and when she's being tolerated. The man who listens actively becomes different from the rest because he makes her feel that her thoughts are not background noise, they are the center of the moment. When you practice active listening, you remove the urge to interrupt. Too many men ruin deep moments because they rush to share their own stories. She says something about her childhood, and instantly they jump in with, "That reminds me of when I," not realizing that what she wanted wasn't comparison, but understanding. Active listening means you resist the temptation to make the conversation about yourself. You allow her experience to stand as it is without trying to overshadow it. That restraint alone is rare, and rarity creates attraction. Another dimension of active listening is reflection. This doesn't mean repeating her words back like a robot. It means acknowledging her emotions. If she says, "I've been so stressed at work," the lazy listener just nods. But the active listener says, "That sounds overwhelming. What's been the hardest part for you?" This simple response does two things. It proves you are paying attention, and it invites her to go deeper. With that, she feels safe to open more because she knows you are not just hearing, but understanding. Women are intuitive and they can sense distraction instantly. If you're on your phone while she's talking, if your eyes wander around the room, if your energy feels absent, she notices. And every time she notices, she feels less valued. Active listening demands presence. It's when you lean in, maintain eye contact, and give her the gift of undivided attention. In a world full of noise, that level of presence feels extraordinary, and what feels extraordinary becomes unforgettable. Active listening also communicates emotional strength. Many men fear silence. They rush to fill every pause because they're uncomfortable with stillness. But a man who listens actively is not afraid of silence because he understands that silence is where the truth often lives. He allows her the space to gather her thoughts, to reflect, to feel safe enough to continue. And that patience signals to her that he is emotionally grounded. Beyond attraction, active listening creates trust. When you listen deeply, you show that you're not just after surface level interaction, you're capable of handling her truth. And when a woman realizes she can share her vulnerabilities without being judged or dismissed, she connects with you on a level far beyond appearance or charm. She begins to feel that her words are safe with you, and safety is the soil where love grows. Active listening transforms ordinary conversations into intimate exchanges. It makes her feel that her life, her emotions, her opinions are not invisible. And once a woman feels truly heard, she cannot forget the person who gave her that gift. Compliments on appearance are everywhere. Women hear them daily on social media, at work, from strangers passing by. "You look beautiful. Nice dress. You're gorgeous." These words may bring a smile, but they don't linger. Why? Because they are shallow. They acknowledge the surface, but ignore the depths. And here's the truth. If you want to stand out, if you want a woman to feel something real for you, stop repeating what every other man says. Mirror her soul, not her looks. When you only focus on her appearance, you reduce her to something temporary. Beauty fades, styles change, and faces grow older. But her inner world, her values, her beliefs, her passions, her scars, that is timeless. When you recognize and honor those aspects, you give her something rare, the feeling of being seen, not just admired, not just desired, but truly understood. A woman craves this far more than she craves another compliment on her eyes or her hair. Mirroring her soul means listening to what she shares and reflecting it back with presence. If she tells you about her struggles, don't dismiss them. Acknowledge her strength in surviving them. If she speaks about her dreams, don't just nod. Encourage her vision. Ask her what steps she's taking. Let her feel that you actually believe in her. When you mirror her soul, you hold up a reflection of who she truly is, and in that reflection, she feels validated. That validation is rare, and rarity creates emotional attraction. Most men stop at external compliments because it's easy. It doesn't require effort or depth. But going deeper demands attention. It requires that you listen closely enough to notice her personality traits, her habits, her energy. For example, instead of saying, "You're pretty," you might say, "I admire how passionate you get when you talk about something you love." That statement doesn't just praise her, it acknowledges her essence. It makes her feel that what is inside her is just as attractive, if not more, than what's outside. Mirroring her soul also builds trust. A woman may enjoy being admired for her looks, but if that's all she hears, she begins to wonder, is that all he sees in me? Would he still care if I didn't look this way? But when your attention is consistently drawn to her character, her courage, her uniqueness, she feels secure. She knows your connection isn't built on something fragile. She knows you're drawn to the person she is, not just the image she presents. And that security is priceless. This doesn't mean you ignore her beauty. It means you don't only focus on it. Balance is key. Compliment her appearance, yes, but don't stop there. Compliment her resilience. Admire her determination. Acknowledge her perspective. Notice the way she treats people, the way she carries herself, the way she expresses her emotions. These are the qualities that reach beyond the surface. And when she realizes you see those, she feels recognized in a way that goes deeper than attraction. She feels valued. The soul responds to being mirrored. When you reflect back the best parts of her inner world, she begins to shine even brighter in your presence. She feels more alive, more authentic, more free to be herself. And she connects that feeling with you. Every time she feels safe to reveal her truest self, she associates it with your presence, your attention, your energy. That is how emotional bonds are built, through the courage to look beyond what everyone else sees. A woman cannot open her heart where she doesn't feel safe. Attraction may begin with appearance, chemistry, or charm, but love only grows in an environment of trust. Emotional safety is the invisible foundation beneath every lasting connection. Without it, conversations stay shallow, walls remain up, and no real bond is formed. With it, barriers dissolve, and a woman allows you into the parts of her life she guards from the world. Emotional safety begins with how you respond to her vulnerability. When she shares something personal, something fragile, your reaction determines whether she will ever share again. If you dismiss it, mock it, or minimize it, you teach her that her emotions don't matter. But if you hold space for her words, if you listen without judgment, you show her that her truth is welcome. And when her truth feels welcome, she feels safe. Many men believe strength is about being dominant or unshakable. But true strength lies in the ability to create an atmosphere where someone else feels secure enough to be weak. A woman doesn't love the man who makes her feel constantly tested or doubted. She loves the man who gives her the courage to let down her guard. Emotional safety is not about agreeing with everything she says. It's about showing her that even in disagreement, she will not be attacked or disrespected. This kind of safety is built in small, consistent ways. It's in how you handle her emotions during conflict. Do you dismiss her feelings as too much? Or do you show patience, acknowledging her perspective, even if you don't fully understand it? It's in how you respond when she admits her fears. Do you mock her for being sensitive? Or do you make her feel that her sensitivity is not a weakness, but a window into her humanity? Every response you give either adds a brick to the wall between you or removes one. Emotional safety also means control over your own reactions. If your temper explodes at the smallest provocation, she will never feel secure. If your energy feels unpredictable, she will always be on edge. A woman feels safe not with the loudest man, but with the most stable one, the one who can stay calm in chaos, grounded in tension, steady in emotion. That steadiness allows her to relax. And when a woman relaxes around you, she begins to associate you with peace. Another layer of emotional safety is honesty. Lies, secrets, and games destroy the foundation of trust. Even half truths corrode security because once doubt enters the heart, safety disappears. If she cannot rely on your words, she cannot rely on your presence. And when she cannot rely on your presence, her walls stay up. But when your words and actions consistently align, she learns that your energy is a place she can trust. That trust becomes the soil where deeper connection grows. Creating emotional safety doesn't mean you avoid boundaries or hide your own truth. In fact, the opposite is true. When you are authentic, when you express your needs clearly, when you stand by your principles without aggression, you show her that honesty doesn't have to be destructive. It can be expressed with respect, and it can still protect the bond. That kind of authenticity gives her permission to do the same, and it makes the connection real instead of performative. Emotional safety is also about acceptance. A woman wants to know she can show both her strength and her softness without fear of rejection. She wants to know that she doesn't have to perform perfection to keep your interest. When you create an environment where she feels free to laugh loudly, cry openly, or confess her doubts without being judged, she experiences liberation. And liberation is addictive. She will seek more of it, and she will seek it with you. There is something magnetic about people who make you think beyond today. Most conversations stay trapped in the present, daily routines, work stress, social media trends, or weekend plans. While those exchanges may keep things comfortable, they rarely inspire emotion. Future oriented curiosity, however, changes everything. When you ask a woman questions that invite her to imagine, dream, and project into her future, you are not just having a conversation, you are painting a vision. And human beings fall in love with vision more than with details. Future oriented curiosity is also deeply attractive because it awakens hope. Every woman has unspoken desires, dreams she's hidden, goals she hasn't shared, parts of herself that feel too fragile for casual conversations. When you ask questions that give her permission to bring those out, she feels seen in a way that few ever offer her. Hope is one of the most powerful emotions, and when she feels hopeful while speaking to you, her heart links that feeling to you. This kind of curiosity builds emotional intimacy naturally. It takes her beyond facts into feelings, asking, "What's one thing you'd love to experience before you die?" Or, "If you could design your ideal day, what would it look like?" doesn't just reveal her preferences, it reveals her soul. It opens the door to understanding her values, her passions, her hidden fears, and her vision for happiness. These are not small details, they are the core of who she is. And when you connect to that core, you build a foundation stronger than attraction. It's alignment. Future oriented curiosity also plants seeds of shared imagination. When she describes her vision, she doesn't just picture herself alone. Subconsciously, she begins to imagine you alongside it. If you ask, "What's a city you've always wanted to explore?" she may picture walking those streets with you. If you ask, "What kind of family traditions would you want in the future?" she may picture building those traditions with you. These small seeds of imagination grow into powerful associations over time, and they happen without force, simply because you dared to ask. There's another layer here: leadership. By guiding conversations into the future, you demonstrate direction. You show that you are not trapped in the present moment, but that you think ahead. Women admire men who have vision, who see beyond what is. When you lead her into a conversation about dreams, plans, and possibilities, you reflect that quality. And in doing so, you become more than a conversational partner. You become a source of inspiration. Future oriented curiosity is not about fantasy. It's about giving her the space to dream while also showing her that you value who she will become. It tells her you are not just fascinated by what she offers today. You are interested in her evolution, her journey, her unfolding story. And when a woman feels that you honor not just her present self, but her future self, she feels something deeper than attraction. She feels understood in her entirety. Attraction is not about tricks, games, or surface level charm. It is about connection. And connection is built through the way you make a woman feel when she's with you, the questions you ask, the way you listen, the depth you bring, the safety you create. All of these are what separate an ordinary conversation from a life-changing bond. When you lead with curiosity, you show her that her inner world matters. When you choose depth over small talk, you prove that you're not afraid of intimacy. Through active listening, you make her feel truly heard in a world that rarely pays attention. By mirroring her soul, not just her looks, you reflect her value beyond the surface. With emotional safety, you give her the courage to be her authentic self. And through future-oriented curiosity, you invite her to dream, to hope, and to imagine you as part of her vision. This is what makes a woman love you, not the loud words, not the empty compliments, not the desperate attempts to impress, but the ability to reach into her heart, awaken her spirit, and make her feel that with you she can be fully seen, fully safe, and fully alive.